conversation because I don't know what church she's referring to and if she has something specific in mind.
The last time Cody and Robyn dared to show public affection in front of the Brown family, the reaction was nothing short of brutal. They were pushed aside, cornered, and quietly told to step back. Cody himself later admitted, "We were put over in a corner, probably for our safety." That strange, almost cryptic remark has haunted fans for months. Now, as breadcrumbs continue to pile up, every trail points to one explosive event: Logan's secret wedding. Behind the polished smiles and carefully edited TLC footage, insiders whisper of a darker truth. Cody and Robyn weren't simply ignored, they were escorted out. Like uninvited guests at their own son's milestone, they became symbols of everything the family had grown tired of. This wasn't about grief at Garrison's memorial, nor about a casual misunderstanding. This was about Logan's big day being hijacked by a display of affection the siblings branded disrespectful. For months, Cody has dropped cryptic half-clues, hinting at a family event so volcanic, he still can't speak of it without flinching. Fans assumed he was talking about Garrison's emotional goodbye. But when you align the TLC filming calendar with the eerie silence on social media, a much sharper picture emerges. Logan's October 2022 wedding to longtime love Michelle. Though TLC refused to name it outright, only referring to it as the family wedding, the evidence was impossible to hide. Floral arrangements matched Michelle's Pinterest boards. A carved pumpkin with the wedding date slipped into the background of one scene. And the most damning breadcrumb of all, Cody's on-camera confession about being shoved into a corner, far from Janelle, Leon, and Hunter, who sat proudly at the head table. The reality is painful. Logan, once the great peacemaker of the Brown clan, finally took a stand. On his wedding day, he demanded no grand entrances, no TLC contracts, no distractions, most of all, no PDA from his father and stepmother. Cody later claimed his phrase, "True love calls down wrath," wasn't about funerals, but the words fit far too neatly inside that reception hall where family unity snapped in silence. The siblings drew a line: keep the spotlight on the newlyweds, or get out. By the time the last piece of pumpkin spice cake was served, Cody and Robyn were already outside, staring at string lights in the cold night air, realizing they had just been exiled. Cody, never one to admit defeat, muttered on camera about civil war inside the family. But the truth was far more humiliating. Logan's vows had ignited not joy, but a definitive rejection of their father's drama. Guests recalled the moment tension truly cracked. During family portraits, while the photographer called for mother-son shots, Cody pulled Robyn into an intimate embrace, swaying her as though they were on their honeymoon. Foreheads pressed together, eyes closed, hands locked at her waist. It was a performance that belonged to a private beach, not a wedding ceremony. The timing couldn't have been worse, just as Logan and Michelle posed for the most important photos of their lives. At first, relatives exchanged polite smiles, but then whispers spread like wildfire. Maddie elbowed Garrison. Aspen texted Mykelti. Even the photographer cleared her throat in frustration. Still, Cody ignored every cue. He lifted Robyn's hand to his lips as Logan guided Michelle toward the fall-themed backdrop. The kiss wasn't scandalous in itself, but it was long, drawn out, and unmistakably self-centered. Younger cousins giggled. Grandma Bonnie adjusted her shawl, uncomfortable. That's when Gabe finally stepped forward, whispering what witnesses remember as, "Time and place, Dad." Cody smirked, waved him off, and kept stroking Robyn's hand. Then came the turning point. Janelle's voice, low but cutting. "Focus is for Logan now." Cody released Robyn but huffed under his breath, muttering about hostility as the entire bridal party froze. Even the violinist stumbled on a note. The evening spiraled. During toasts, Cody and Robyn nuzzled, his arm draped across her chair, her hand on his thigh, stealing attention from the maid of honor's heartfelt words. When Logan rose to thank guests, heads instinctively turned toward the couple's corner, only to see Cody brushing Robyn's hair with exaggerated tenderness. By then, patience had shattered. Maddie reportedly walked straight to the venue coordinator. Staff guided Cody and Robyn to a side terrace, where Garrison calmly delivered the verdict. "Enjoy the evening, but stay away from the hall." No, shouting, "No fight." Just a silent, devastating exile. The siblings had decided Logan's wedding would not share a spotlight with Cody's endless need for attention. For the first time, Cody wasn't just ignored, he was officially removed. Cody, his pride wounded, chose drama over dignity. Looping Robyn's arm through his, he stormed out through the side gate, his forced laughter echoing into the night. Inside, the reception let out a collective sigh of relief, as if a storm cloud had finally drifted away. The banquet manager, trained in subtle diplomacy, framed it as a simple tour of the grounds. But everyone knew the truth. This was an exile, disguised in courtesy. They were guided past an herb garden, down a stone path, and gently shown the wrought iron side gate that latched softly behind them. Inside, the band immediately struck up an upbeat swing number, drowning the awkward silence that had hung heavy moments before. Outside, Cody paced furiously, muttering to Robyn, "I've never felt so unwelcome in my own family." Robyn tried to soothe him, but her mascara betrayed her, smudged more from humiliation than from tears. As sparklers flared inside for the couple's first dance, Cody and Robyn's black SUV pulled away into the night, taillights vanishing while the true celebration finally began without them. Back in the hall, the air shifted. Janelle whispered, "Thanks to the coordinator." Christine slipped the DJ a request for Michelle's favorite ballad. Even Mary, ever the peacemaker, raised a quiet toast at the cousins' table, murmuring, "To joy, not drama." No one mentioned Cody's absence out loud, but everyone felt it. This wasn't revenge, it was liberation. For the first time in years, the children reclaimed a milestone free of theatrics, a sacred moment where the spotlight stayed where it belonged, on Logan and Michelle. Meanwhile, TLC's cameras scrambled. On screen, Season 19 presented the event with eerie vagueness, calling it only the family wedding. Logan's name never uttered, Michelle barely acknowledged, signage blurred until it looked like a smear of pixels. But for fans with sharp eyes, the edit played like a treasure hunt. Every clue, every slip of the frame, betrayed the truth hiding, in plain sight. The first breadcrumb came in Cody's own confessional. In a moment of spite, he flashed the seating chart to prove his mistreatment. Viewers froze the frame, zoomed in, and before TLC's sloppy blur could mask it, Michelle's maiden name was clear as day. And there it was, Cody assigned to table 12, shoved to the far corner with distant cousins. Meanwhile, Janelle sat glowing near the head table, her dress later confirmed in Instagram snapshots posted by Michelle's sister, photos TLC tried desperately to scrub from the internet but which survived in fan archives. The second clue came from Cody himself during his snow-dusted rant in Flagstaff. Bearded, bitter, flakes clinging to his coat, he spat out the words, "Some of my kids wouldn't even engage me at the wedding." Not funeral, not memorial, wedding. His bitterness wasn't born from grief but from being ignored. He seethed that they laughed harder, danced louder, made a point of enjoying themselves more than him. Fans instantly knew this wasn't mourning. This was a party Cody had lost control of, and then came the third, most telling clue. Logan himself remained silent. TLC's audio crew later admitted the groom declined to be mic'd. No lav pack, no staged sound bites. Just room mics picking up fragments of speeches. To fans who had grown up with Logan's steady, reassuring voice, the absence was deafening. It screamed louder than any toast. Logan had drawn his boundary long before the cameras arrived. But why? The answer lies in Logan's years as the reluctant mediator. As the eldest of 18, he had fetched tissues during fights, tucked forgotten wallets back into his father's jacket, and carried the weight of peacekeeping on his young shoulders. Long before slipping a ring on Michelle's finger, Logan knew one truth: his wedding would not become another episode of Sister Wives. Together with Michelle, he drafted what siblings jokingly called the No Polygamy Drama Accord. It was simple. Cameras minimal, respect mandatory, no speeches hijacked, no spotlight stolen. Every parent was called in advance. Janelle promised cooperation. Christine only asked if she could bring fudge for the dessert table. Mary agreed to sit wherever assigned. Cody, of course, gave a breezy, "Of course, son," but his tone dripped with entitlement, as if boundaries were suggestions and the day would still revolve around him. Logan and Michelle planned anyway. The venue staff was briefed. The bridal party rehearsed a hand signal, 2 fingers tapping a watch, meaning, time to redirect Dad. And secretly, the siblings formed a group chat titled Logan's Lifeguards. Maddie created it, adding brothers and sisters with one pinned rule: protect the bride and groom. No exceptions. The chat read like a mission plan. Garrison arranged extra attendance at the terrace. Aspen drafted polite diversion scripts. Even Leon suggested a playlist designed to drown out drama. They weren't plotting rebellion, they were choreographing courtesy. Like seasoned hosts avoiding political arguments at Thanksgiving, the Brown kids had prepared every move to keep chaos from spoiling their brother's vows. And when the night finally came, vigilance became action. Maddie flicked her wrist in, the agreed-upon signal. Logan's plan activated with military precision. No fighting, no screaming, just quiet exile. For one evening, the siblings drew a line, and Cody learned the unthinkable truth. His stage was gone. When an aunt casually texted to ask if Robyn's younger kids should have their own game table at the wedding, Madison shot back a quick reply. Yes, but far away from the photo backdrops. A smile emoji followed, but beneath the southern sweetness lay iron resolve, the kind of firmness these siblings had perfected after years of plural family politics. By sunrise on the wedding day, Logan's Lifeguards group chat was buzzing. Gabriel posted a photo of the dawn sky with the caption, "Game Day." Hunter responded with a thumbs up and a gentle reminder, eyes on the bride, not the drama. From the very first hour, the mission was clear. Cousins stationed in the hotel lobby sent updates. Cody and Robyn had arrived, visibly affectionate but calm. Still, Garrison revised the strategy. He would hover near the photo backdrop, boutonniere in hand, ready to intercept. If Cody drifted too close, Garrison would pin the flower on his lapel and redirect him, subtle, polite, but firm. No confrontation, just practiced grace. For those over 50, the move was familiar, an old-fashioned way of guiding an unruly relative off the dance floor without letting anyone lose face. But then, the inevitable breach came. Cody's lingering kiss, Robyn's giggle echoing under vaulted beams. In seconds, Logan's Lifeguards lit up like a switchboard. Maddie dropped the watch tap emoji, the prearranged signal. Within half a minute, venue staff were already moving. The execution was seamless because it had been rehearsed in whispers for weeks. Older viewers later recognized the choreography instantly. Adult children, bonded by disappointment, stepping in like seasoned caregivers. This wasn't rebellion. This was a loving perimeter, built to protect Logan and Michelle's moment. Yet, Cody spun a different story. Days later, in his pickup interview with Sukanya, he reframed the exile not as a consequence of bad timing, but as proof of his children's cruelty. Over and over, he thundered the same phrase, "True love calls down wrath." He cast himself and Robyn as martyrs of passion, victims of a world jealous of their devotion. To veteran viewers, it was a familiar performance. Years earlier, he'd preached that objections to Robyn's spending were rooted in envy. Now he recycled the same trick. Boundaries became persecution, polite requests turned into attacks on Cupid himself. What Cody never accounted for was his audience's memory. Women over 50 rarely forget who showed up at hospitals with casseroles and who showed up with excuses. They catalog kindness like accountants track decimals. And they know one timeless truth. True love at someone else's wedding isn't romance, it's theft. Viewers at home recognized what Cody refused to see. This wasn't wrath against love, it was defense of respect. Even Robyn seemed to falter. Seated beside him during that pickup, she nodded dutifully, but her eyes betrayed unease. When asked directly if she understood why the siblings were offended, she whispered one word: reciprocity. Then she trailed off. The silence was deafening. Reciprocity can't survive where one couple's embrace eclipses another couple's vows. For a heartbeat, even Robyn seemed to know it. Across living rooms in America, grandmothers clicked their tongues, not out of prudishness, but principle. Never outshine the guest of honor. Never toast yourself at someone else's feast. The aftermath was quiet, but devastating. On Instagram, Logan and Michelle's honeymoon reel appeared, yet not a single like or comment from Cody or Robyn. Robyn, who never missed a chance to drop heart emojis on distant cousins' baby photos, went silent. Meanwhile, Janelle filled the comment section with motherly encouragements. Christine reposted the reel, adding her signature, "Best day ever." Mary tapped a solitary like, her Switzerland stance intact. Fans knew the silence was louder than words. On Facebook, the brown battlefield grew icy. Gwendolyn quietly removed Cody from her relatives list. Maddie unfollowed Robyn's boutique page. Aurora retaliated by cutting off half her siblings. No announcements, no statements, just quiet deletions. For older women watching, the symbolism was crystal clear. Unfriending is the new returned. Tupperware with no lid. Message received. Relationship redefined. Even cameo Cody's side hustle betrayed the shift. His once frequent birthday shout-outs slowed to a trickle. When fans requested a father-daughter pep talk like the one he'd done for McKelty, his assistant replied that Cody was too busy. Meanwhile, Christine's cameo queue doubled overnight, fueled by fans eager to congratulate Logan and Michelle without Cody's shadow. Janelle, true to form, slipped part of her cameo earnings toward Logan's down payment fund. Michelle later thanked her privately in a story that fans captured before it disappeared. Holidays fractured too. Thanksgiving, once a single chaotic gathering, now split in two. Janelle booked an Airbnb near Maddie's house in North Carolina. Christine hosted in Utah with snow-dusted pies. Cody floated the idea of a Zoom prayer, but his kids politely declined, claiming bad Wi-Fi, though Grandma Ann managed to stream church just fine. Silence, as it turns out, can be a velvet rope. By Christmas, even logistics had evolved. The siblings launched a WhatsApp thread titled, "Brown Coordination, No Drama." Maddie and Hunter organized Secret Santa, ensuring Cody's name wasn't drawn twice. Garrison managed guest lists like a peacekeeper. Aspen wrote template messages, reminding their father of boundaries. "Dad, you're invited, but please respect the photo schedule." Every detail accounted for, every boundary crystal clear. Mary, ever neutral, mailed handmade ornaments to each household, her address stamped discreetly. She replied in group chats with safe emojis and busied herself at Lizzie's Heritage Inn. Neutrality may look passive, but even neutrality requires vigilance when feelings bruise like glass. This, then, is what a mature family freeze-out looks like. Not screaming matches in driveways, but parallel itineraries stitched together by siblings who love peace more than proximity. For women watching at home, it rang familiar. Sometimes, peace requires separate tables. Sometimes the kindest rebuttal is an empty comment box. Sometimes dignity lives not in fiery speeches, but in silence that speaks louder than words. Cody once believed every family milestone orbited him. Logan's wedding proved the orbit had shifted. His children, once submissive to his stagecraft, now stood shoulder to shoulder, enforcing the simplest etiquette their mothers taught them decades ago. Someone else's big day is not your stage. That single boundary redrew the entire family map. Now Cody and Robyn linger on the periphery, lamenting wrath against true love, while RSVPs pass them by. Logan and Michelle host dinners in peace. Janelle proofreads Christine's memoirs. Garrison paints nurseries. Mary hangs another quilt in her inn. Life continues, not with spectacle, but with quiet dignity. For those of us who've watched, from day one, the lesson is clear. This isn't rejection, it's evolution. Families grow, boundaries form, and sometimes the greatest act of love is